Hey there, I'm Patrick Franco, and today we're going to look at a seated spinal twist. This is a great pose that you'll see right in the beginning of class in order to warm up the spine with some simple spinal movements. And by the way, spinal twists are pretty much good for any category of poses that you're working on, either to prepare the body or to counterbalance some of that work. You'll also see seated spinal twist, therefore, at the end of a yoga class to counterbalance the work of some of those challenging poses that you might have been working on throughout the class. So this pose does both strengthen and stretch a large number of body parts. And so it really does stretch the entirety of the spine during the spinal twist. It stretches also the abdominal muscles, it stretches the shoulders and the upper back, and it stretches the inner thighs and the outer hips. Now it does also strengthen a lot of those same body parts. It strengthens the abdominal muscles. It strengthens the spine during this deep twist. It strengthens the outer hips and the hip stabilizing muscles during this seated spinal twist. So let's go ahead and take a look at this pose, and we're going to start seated in Dandasana. We know Dandasana, staff pose, the legs are extended fully in front of us. Now, in order to come into this seated spinal twist, we start in easy seat, Sukhasana. So we're going to cross at the middle of our shins and then let the knees rest on the feet. Once that happens, the shins are parallel to the front of the mat. I can use my hands to sit up nice and tall. So I want my legs relaxed and I want my spine to lift upright. We can also use the arms to get more space in the spine before twisting. So I'm going to take my arms out to the side, and then I'm going to lift my arms up. So I'm getting my arms to help lift the spine as my legs relax. And then I'm going to turn to the right. And when I turn, I'll have one hand on the outer thigh and one hand behind me. And so I want to keep my legs relaxed as I twist. So my legs stay down. I'm going to inhale and lift, and that's what the back arm helps for. And on the exhale, I turn. And when I turn, the abdomen turns first, then the shoulders and back ribs, lastly, the head. And then I can unwind and come back. We'll just do it to the other side. So we'll take the arms wide, and then we'll use those arms overhead to get more space and length in the spine. And then I try to maintain that space and length as I turn the opposite direction. Again, one hand across the thigh on the knee, and then the opposite hand behind the body. My legs stay relaxed, and I'm using the back hand to sit upright as I breathe in. And then when I exhale, the abdomen turns, the ribs, the shoulders, and then lastly, the head. This is a great pose, detoxifies the body, quiets the mind, but also both stretches and strengthens the spine. Now, one issue though that does come up is if you're struggling to sit in Sukhasana, the same issues arise when you do a seated spinal twist from Sukhasana. And the one main issue is that it's hard for the spine to get upright if you're not sitting on something. So I am going to sit on 2 blankets, which will be immensely helpful for this seated spinal twist. And anytime we sit on the floor for seated postures, even if you're an experienced practitioner, most often it is useful to sit up on 1 or 2 blankets to do most of these seated postures because it allows the legs to relax and the spine to lift. So we'll start the same, arms wide. We'll lift the arms up, and then we'll turn. And now I have more space to elevate and lengthen my spine before I twist. One other issue that is a common mistake that happens in this pose is when the student twists, the hand that's holding the front leg, instead of letting the legs relax, you'll often see students pulling their leg up as they start to turn. It's really the back arm that's helping the turn, and we want this front leg to stay relaxed, okay? So on the inhale, we lift, And then I'm just pressing into the outer leg to turn my abdomen, my ribs, my shoulders, and lastly, my head. All right. There you have it. Seated spinal twist. An amazing pose used either to warm up the spine in the beginning of class or to counterbalance all the more challenging poses you worked on throughout a class, and you'll see it at the end of a yoga class. All right, we'll see you on the mat next time.